I think pioneering has helped me to stay focused, and I feel like I have a place in Jehovah's organization. But in that place is always room for advancement. It's open to anyone else. You can have as much or as little as you want, and I appreciate that because I never thought that I could be a pioneer. And it really wasn't until I gave up all those doubts to Jehovah and started allowing Him to help me through it and stopped relying on my own strength. That's when I really learned that lesson about drawing close to Jehovah and He draws close to you, as well as throwing that burden onto Jehovah. You have to give it all to Him. It can't just be a little bit. And I finally learned that lesson in pioneering because I had to rely on Him. I could not do it on my own.
We enjoyed those comments. So, Sister Cheslock, how does pioneering help you spiritually?
It's helped me to keep a better spiritual schedule and routine with just studying even for the meetings and reading all the watchtowers, and it's helped that they're small this year so I get through them. But really, it helps me overall just think more spiritually, be more spiritually inclined. And things come up in the service, whether even if it's not directly to me, but someone in my service group or on a Bible study, and I'll ask myself, how would I have responded? And sometimes I don't know. And so when I research it, it makes me have more confidence. But also, too, just that spiritually inclined thinking more. And so when I'm in normal clothes, I tend more to witness informally, but also to my kids.
Excellent. Sister Estrada, how has pioneering helped you spiritually?
Well, as you know, this has been a very challenging year for me, losing Lorenzo. But after the dust settled, I sat down and thought, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to retire and pioneer like we had planned? So I crunched the numbers, and losing his income seemed scary. And I thought, maybe I just can't do it. But I crunched the numbers and looked at it and thought, well, maybe I can do this thing. And after praying to Jehovah and throwing myself on His mercy, I went ahead and did it. And it was the best decision I could make. Because pioneering gets you out of your own little piddly problems. It makes you see the bigger picture. It makes you see Jehovah's universal sovereignty, the big issues in life. And I have to say that pioneering saved me.
Really value those comments. Finally, please relate any outstanding experiences you've had pioneering.
Mine was the very first door of the very first day of pioneering. I was very zealous. I went to the door. I gave my presentation. I was polished on this presentation, and I was rejected. And it was one of those doors that you can't see through. It's that white security door. You don't know who you're talking to. I knew it was someone elderly, but I couldn't quite figure it out. And she said, I'm Catholic. I'm good. I don't need what you have. And I said, well, can I just tell you that the reason why we're here is because we take very seriously the command to love your neighbor as yourself. So really, as a part of the community, we wanted to check on you and see if there's anything that you need. And she stopped for a second, and she opened the door, and she reached out for my hand, and she said, I have been so sad over the loss of my husband. And this was not just a recent loss. This was maybe within the year. But to her, it was like it was yesterday. And so I said, may I read you one scripture? And she said, of course. And so I read her Revelation 21:4. And then I looked at her, and she had tears just streaming down her face. And that was when I realized something that I had never experienced before. I had read about those experiences. I had heard others tell those experiences. But to actually witness it for yourself and to see how Jehovah uses His word to comfort people when we don't know what to say, that was something Jehovah was telling me that I needed to pioneer. I needed to not stop pioneering. So it's a lesson that I paid attention to.
Thank you, Sister Lewis. We appreciate your comments. Sister Cheslock, can you relate any outstanding experiences you've had?
The one that comes to mind is just, it's pretty simple, but Sherry and I and Elaine were out in service mid-afternoon, and it was kind of one of those days where you're dragging, but we just said, we'll do a small little cul-de-sac, and we did, and Sherry shared a scripture with a girl who's maybe in her early 20s, and once she read the scripture, her eyes lit up, and she said, wow, how did you know? Like, her expression was just as if we were just reading her mind, and she said, that was perfect. That's what I've been thinking about a lot. And so we were trying to draw her out and asking, oh, what's going on? It was about problems in life, and she wouldn't open up much, but you could just see the expression, those eyes that light up. And when Sherry and I laughed, we were like, that's why we're doing this. It's something bigger than us, and you go there mid-afternoon and you're thinking you won't find anyone home because maybe normally you don't, but then you find someone who it seems that the angels directed you to, so it's a much bigger thing than us.
Enjoyed that too. Thank you very much. Mr. Estrada, can you relate any outstanding experiences, please?
Experiences. If you think that you're going to have experiences, you need to pioneer. Because pioneering opens up many other doors of activity. When you simplify your life and you start pioneering, you could go serve where the need is greater. You could help out in a foreign language group. You could go when there's a disaster and help out. You could go back to Bethel. Or you can get hooked up with the RBC and go all over the world and build projects. So experiences will come if you simplify your life and you pioneer. And especially for the young people, if you choose a career with Jehovah and his organization, you will never be sorry.
Don't we appreciate those comments, friends?